Okay, so this is just a quick glance at our week ahead. We have a great meeting today. We have Robin and Janice. They're going to talk about KWPP Cares, and then we have a great guest, Chad Esslinger from Esslinger Homes, who's going to talk to us about building relationships with builders. So it should be a great one today. Tanya is having her command class on Wednesday this week at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, and that's going to be campaigns that are working, because we're continuing that free lead summer. A lot of you guys have taken advantage of that, but she will continue to show which campaigns are working, our listings, which are getting more clicks, which are getting more leads. So that should be a great one.
Going forward, all of my in-command classes will be Wednesdays at 10 a.m.
Awesome. And if there are other things you want to learn from Tanya, share with her. Otherwise, we'll probably be digging into campaigns for the next couple of weeks. And then our CE class, noon on Wednesday, is going to be about Remine, and it's sponsored by WFG Title. So check that out. And then looking ahead at next week, we are kind of delayed in doing our 2019 production awards, right? Normally we do it in March, but things kind of got strange. We're not really sure how we were going to do it. So we are going to do it live via Zoom next Monday's meeting, and we're going to do a drive-through to pick up your awards and to video people picking up their awards. So more exact details to come, but just plan on that for next week, Monday, especially if you think you might be getting an award. Definitely make sure to block that time out, but hopefully everyone will tune in for that, because it should be a good one too. All right, Austin, free leads. So yes, just a reminder of our program that we have right now, free leads for summer. So every week you can do a campaign through command for social media. And if you can do Facebook, or you can do Instagram, you could do Twitter, you could do whichever one you want, but send us a screenshot and we'll reimburse you $20 for your campaign. It's really that simple. We've had a lot of people start to do them last week, so we're excited to hear the successes that people have. Tanya, anything you want to share about how it's gone so far?
Yeah, so far we've, the people that have turned in their ads, so if you have run a Facebook ad paid campaign, you need to get that screenshot into Heather right away, so that we can, number one, give you a credit back for the $20. And number two, so that we can track and see how your leads are doing. From what I've heard so far, people are, we've run different types of leads, and everyone's getting some type of leads coming in. So it's been good.
Awesome. And again, yeah, that's a reminder, you can get $20 every week. So consistency is pretty important here, right? Like any marketing, if you're sending out postcards, you know, any farming, do you think that you're always going to get slam dunk out of the gate? You know, sometimes maybe you will, but if you're trying to really focus in a specific geographical area, it might take a little bit longer to start seeing those leads, but you might get higher quality leads. So this is a great time for everyone to kind of test out what's going to work for you and what you want to target. If you want to target anyone who's hot but a broader area, or really hone in on a specific neighborhood.
It's also what you say that matters.
Mm-hmm.
What you say matters, how you design your ad matters, because people will respond if it's something that's of interest to them. And then one of the reasons we're doing this is you can take advantage of this free activity to target a campaign that you wanted to do and do it consistently. So you may find a neighborhood that you want to farm, so boost your ads into that neighborhood. You may find a demographic of some other appeal, and you can use this as a free way to start building a following, have people start to recognize you and your name, and you're providing hopefully the best information that they need.
Right, and Tanya's here to help with those ads. So if you need help with the specific wording, what to say. So awesome. All right, well, let's get into, we have Robin and Janice today. Robin is our KWPP Cares ambassador, and they're going to share with us a little bit about KWPP Cares and what's going on. And there are some new agents on here who might not even know what KWPP Cares is. So take it away, ladies.
I got to unmute first. Getting used to this, you guys. Hey, by the way, how's everybody doing with this new normal? Oh my God. It's crazy, isn't it? Okay, well, at least we're all on the same page, huh? Okay, so I want to start by telling you about who I am and why I'm here today. Dwight came to me recently and asked if I would go ahead and be your new KWPP Cares ambassador. And I have been a senior specialist real estate broker with Keller Williams since 2007. So, and a past land developer, 15 years on the North Coast. And now in the industry, this is my 30th year. Oh my God. Well, I guess I'm considered an old relic, huh?
A legend.
But the good news is I just got an email from one of our young top agents in the office, and he thinks I'm a rock star. Well,
Y'all do.
Guess who that is? It's your son. He told me that.
Oh.
So I said, okay, I'll be a rock star. Great. Okay. Well, anyway, let's get back to business. Okay. So God, family, and then business has always been Keller Williams' most important stated value. And our creative business model was founded on culture. That was one of the big reasons I joined Keller Williams, because I enjoy helping people. As part of our KW culture, last month we celebrated the birthday of Mo Anderson, who was the founder of Red Day, as a lot of you know. And Red Day was an annual giving back to our community nationwide. And this year, you know, we donated to the food bank and raised over $7,000, which is above our goal. Yay, guys, good job. Also, Mo Anderson is our chair of KW Cares International, which is a 501c3 charitable organization conceived by agents fostering the spirit of family helping family. And they designated this charity back in 2003. Now that's overall international. In the meantime, that was created, by the way, to support KW associates, staff, and their families in times of hardship as a result of a sudden, well, I guess you'd call it emergency, yes. We at KWPP Cares, our office, has designated now a tax-deductible charitable fund a few years ago to strengthen our family here in our office through giving. So today I'm reaching out to you because this time in history, of course, especially with the virus, where some of us may need a little help or extra help. So back in 2012, I was on the ALC, the Agent Leadership Council, and Culture Chair. And I organized a green sheet donation campaign. And it works as that an agent would designate a certain amount from each transaction to help our Keller Williams family through their hardship. So Heather, so we need to move ahead by giving back and helping build up our KW fund because it has been a little bit depleted over the years. So Heather's going to tell you right now a little bit about that and talk about how we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, our fund's doing really well this year. Excuse me. We have a group of agents that are very faithful to donating on every transaction that they do, and it's actually really, really easy for any of you that want to do the same. You can just notify me how much you would like to take out of each transaction to put into our local KWPP Cares fund, and I set it up in the system so it's an auto deduction. The other way that people are doing that, because sometimes, especially if you have varying sizes of commissions, you don't want it to be just one standard amount on every one. Say you have a luxury closing that's significantly higher and you want to make a larger donation. Then you can just email me directly and I can make sure that that happens. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that depending on your comfort level and just the ease of putting it in pre-programmed. Otherwise, you have to put it in through the commissions tab every single time. And that some people, that's a little bit cumbersome and they don't want to have to think about that extra thing. So they just have me set it up directly.
Okay. So then we'll get back to you on that later. I'll be sending out an email with all the information. Also, our mighty ALC, Agent Leadership Council has embraced this endeavor, and we have 100% participation. Thanks, guys. So over the years, KWPP Cares has changed the lives of some of our agents, staff members, and their families. So at this time, I want to introduce Janice Sanford. She's a wonderful caring agent. She's been with Keller Williams for over 7 years, and she's here to tell her heartwarming story, and her family was one of our past recipients. Janice.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Peter. Hi, Melanie. 2 summers ago, back way up, I've been an associate for 7 years. I started with a team and wasn't licensed. I got licensed about 3 years ago, and it stayed with Keller Williams and Portland Premier specifically because of the culture and the people. And I absolutely love it. I mean, we all get recruited, attempt to get recruited away. And I love having the conversations with the recruiters because every time I can say, you know what, this is my family. And if I needed them, they'd be there for me. And I know that. And 2 years ago this summer, so starting about now, let's see, we're in June. So just about now, 2 years ago, we found out that my husband had a mitral valve problem. And it was found just kind of by accident. We had actually gone to Disneyland over Christmas, and he wasn't feeling very well when he got back, and just went to the doctor just kind of for a normal checkup, and she heard a heart murmur for the first time. And so we, didn't think much of it. And he ended up needing open heart surgery to repair the mitral valve. So that was we were scheduled for the end of June, beginning of July, 2017. So, I've been working hard. I had people in the pipeline. I thought, okay, well, I can weather the storm, just kind of keep a few people in my pipeline, and I can manage that. And I'm sure doing that and having surgery with my husband will be just fine. The first surgery went okay, and they were able to repair it. And it was a really scary time, stressful time in our family, just, having my husband go through that. And then after his first surgery, 10 days later, he went septic and had pneumonia and congestive heart failure and almost lost him. And he needed a subsequent second surgery because the repair had failed. And so they went back in through the middle this time and opened him up, and he was in a really intense surgery for about 8 hours, where they actually replaced it with a mechanical valve. We chose to not have the pig valve, but mechanical valve. And by this time, it was getting to be the end of July, and I was not able to do any work. I just couldn't get away. I couldn't do open houses. I couldn't take people around. I couldn't do a listing. I was basically just trying to survive and keep my kids from not being afraid of losing their dad, and and my husband really had a hard time in the hospital. He has chronic back pain, so on top of the open heart surgeries. So I needed to be there every day, and I needed to be with my kids every evening. And my mother-in-law stepped in to kind of help them during the days. So I couldn't work. There was nothing I could do. And my husband had stopped working. Little did we know, he was a correctional officer for 18 years. He just didn't feel good. He felt like he couldn't do it anymore. So he quit. Little did we know it was really because of the heart condition. So fast forward, 2 surgeries in the month of July 2 years ago, pretty much wiped out our savings, pretty much wiped out everything that we knew to do. We had family and friends help us with a GoFundMe. It was to get a bed for him at home so that when he came home, he'd be able to recuperate. After the second surgery, he had a PICC line anyway, I could tell you all the details. Sometimes I get wrapped up in the details. But it was a really hard time. And he had several reactions to antibiotics because he had endocarditis from the surgery. So it was an unknown bug in his heart. The whole time, the staff reached out to me, asked me how I was doing. I remember Heather And I had some really emotional conversations during that time. It was really hard, and I leaned on my KW family for support, and they were there for me. And finally one day Heather just looks at me and she goes, if you need help, you just need to ask. And we don't want to ask for help ever, financially especially, right? As independent business owners, like asking people to help with finances is really, really hard. It's very humbling. And but we had gone through our savings, which wasn't very big, but we went through that and exhausted our resources. And so finally I reached out and asked if KWPP Cares could help, and they did. And we were able to keep the lights on and get some groceries, and it helped us with all of our expenses for that month, so that we could go on one more month before I could get back on track. So that's my KWPP
Janice.
Cares.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Janice. Very heartwarming. So you guys, our goal is to ensure that when a need arises, like happened with Janice, we're prepared financially and physically. Financially meaning building our cash reserves, and physically means if you're struggling with health issues or medical issues that need funding or just need support, please reach out to us all, and reach out to Heather. She's really ready and willing to help you through that process. So Heather, can you chime in a little bit that process? And then we also would like to see the form that the KWPP Cares has that we did for now we're calling it KW Cares Command Donations.
Yeah, we have a grant request form that we would just have anybody fill out, specifying the amount of their need and kind of the circumstances behind it, and you submit that grant request to me with some supporting documentation, and I take that in front of our ALC, because we have a governing body. We don't just provide the money willy-nilly. We kind of want to make sure that we're making sure that it's being put to the best possible use, because we do have a lot of agents here that we love on and support, and our ALC makes that determination on the grant request. The beauty of our local KWPP Cares Fund is that the grant requests happen much quicker than they would with KW Cares. There's no reason that you can't apply for a grant locally and with the National KW Cares Fund. It's just like I said, ours is much quicker. And then they also have, for the KW Cares International, when they give a grant request, they like to see that your local market center has offered some support. So we really actually strongly encourage people to apply for the local grant request first. And then beyond just the funds, your local family wants to love on you and support you when you're going through something tragic. And because when you care about someone, you want to try to help them. And this is our chance to do that. So if you're ever experiencing something and you need the support of your people around you, please give us the opportunity to do that.
Okay, Austin, could you pull up that KW form for us? So that's what it's going to look like. So, I'll be giving you more details forthcoming in the next couple of days. I'll be emailing out to everyone this donation form to send back to Heather, and when you have a chance. And if you have any questions about it all, then reach out to Heather or me. Okay. Again, our goal is to have 100% participation as we all move forward to help our KW family. And, our charity fund is the heart of Keller Williams culture and action. You're not alone. We're all here to help. Let us make this a great campaign. Okay, turning it back to Corinne.
Thank you so much, Robin. And Janice, thank you for sharing your story. I know sometimes, like you said, it takes a lot to open up. So we are thankful for you and our family. Yeah, so, if anyone needs anything, reach out to Heather. She's always here. Any of us, but especially Heather. But we are always here to help out. So thank you, ladies. And then I think we're going to be emailing out maybe that form, right? And some additional information to everyone. So watch your email.
Right. In the next couple of days, yes.
Great. Thank you. All right. So our next guest I will let Dwight actually introduce him. It's Chad Esslinger from Esslinger Homes, and he's friends with Dwight.
Hello. Well, thank you, Chad, for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we let you take it away, I wanted to make sure that the reason that everyone knows that the reason I have you here is because we have a shortage of inventory in Portland, and people's income will be limited because there are so few homes to sell. And new construction in that market should start to ramp up, and there should be more opportunities available. And I would like to see our company do more new construction sales as we go forward. And so you operated, as I've worked with you for many, many years, you've operated at such a high level of detail that I thought you'd be a perfect candidate. So I reached out to you, right? And then you explained to me what you were doing in terms of trying to educate the community to the building process. So it seemed like it was, a really nice coincidence for us and hopefully for you. So I want you to maybe talk a little bit about your career, where you started, how you did it, and then maybe on into this business that you're doing.
Absolutely. Okay, let me go.
Yeah.
Should I go for it? Okay. So yeah, I think starting with a background would be a good place to start. I actually was raised in Lake Oswego, went and got a finance degree, never had an ambition to be a builder. To be honest, my dad was a builder growing up, and I got to work in it a lot as a laborer, but didn't really think that that was something that I wanted to do, which is an ironic tie-in to a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk about today. But I ended up taking over the business and buying it from him. I've been doing this for 22 years, mostly in Lake Oswego. Built over 140 homes over that time. And the last 18 months, we did a little highlight reel. So I'll play that at the end of this. Or is Austin the tech guy? Or I'll have Austin play
Yeah,
it.
no, and it's ready when you are.
Okay.
His new name.
Just to show a little bit of what we've been up to. But started out just learning the ropes. I've known Dwight for the whole 22 years that I've been building homes. Maybe before then, I don't remember if I knew you before I started in the building industry, but for sure the whole 22 years. And so I first of all, I want to say too, what you guys talked about early on really ties into this. And I love that you guys are helping with social media, and that kind of ties into this a little bit, leveling the playing field for a small builder like myself or single real estate agents, I think is huge. And then also that you're working as a family. And I think partnership is a big part of this that I want to talk about today. Partnership between builders and realtors, but then the partnership and the team that we create around our clients, which would extend to be title companies, designers and architects and other people that are all involved in this new construction process, and also remodels. I'm guessing you guys see a lot of clients with low inventory that are, this is what I'm getting calls on all the time, looking at homes that need to be remodeled to fit their needs, because the inventory is low enough that that's maybe what they can only find. So I want to talk a little bit about that, but those things tie right in. I thought that was fantastic what you guys were talking about. So I guess, yeah, here's a good chance. Let's play the little highlight reel of the last 18 months of what we've been up to in Lake Oswego.
Yeah, sure. Sure thing. And I'll do it. I'll share it on my screen, and then there's a way to optimize the screen sharing for video clips. But I just want to keep in mind that when I do this, it's going to be at full volume on my end, just to make sure that it can compensate for other people's volume. So just be aware that there might be a really loud blast of volume on your end. So just if you need to turn down for a second to compensate, just be aware of that. Don't want to scare you. But here we go. Is it working? Oh, let's see. Why is it not making sound? One sec.
It doesn't have sound. This is a loop video from my website.
Okay, so maybe it's the other one I was thinking about. So the other one, let's not get scared for that one. This one.
No music here.
Okay, perfect.
The staircase is beautiful. Holy moly. Wow.
All right. Yeah, the home with the staircase actually was for a realtor. I love building for realtors. I've done about 10 different realtors' homes. They make for fantastic clients. And that's kind of one of the segues that we'll talk about is a little bit of how to get our clients to the places that we want them to be for the best transactions for everyone, which is why I think it's such a team-based effort. But I have 3 main points I want to throw out, and then I'll dive into them. And then I'm all for Q&A. Dwight, you mentioned like 10 minutes at the end, but I'm open for as much as people want to do. So I'll go over the first 3 points, and then I would love feedback on some of this as well from the agents. So the first thing I want to talk about is adding value to our clients as both realtors and builders. And I'm going to approach all of this from a team aspect, meaning this is not just what realtors can do or what builders can do, but what we can do together and for each other. Number 2 is capturing missed opportunities with clients that are intimidated by the process of either building or remodeling as a part of their project. And the third one is in how do we add value to each other as builders and realtors. So the first one, how do we stand out? This ties right back into what you guys were talking about with social media in the beginning. How is it that we, with all the different builders and realtors that are in the marketplace, stand out and give value to our clients in a way that brings them into our world and turns them into clients that we have a productive relationship with? So I think this is probably a good place for me to introduce the first part of what Dwight was talking about. So I've been working on this for years and years and years. I've been developing something that was an information tool that we could give to our clients, and it's meant for everybody going through the construction process, and it's meant to interface with all the team players, meaning it works for the realtor to help with their client, it works for the builder to help with their client, and it brings the client's knowledge base up, which helps us all in our transactions to go more smoothly. One of the things that I've learned over the 22 years is that the more informed your client is during the process, the better the transaction goes. I started thinking to myself, how can I recreate building for someone like Dwight? How could I recreate building for like a contractor that was a lifetime contractor that I built for? How do we give the knowledge of someone who's built 5 or 6 different homes to people who've never done it before, or who are doing it for maybe the second time, or they've remodeled but not built a home before? I realized that people were frankly intimidated by the process of going through building because they felt like they didn't understand enough that for that big of a transaction gave them comfort to move forward with it. So I've had many clients tell me that they just flat didn't buy a home, didn't move, didn't do anything out of a lack of understanding of what that meant for them. And so they were just felt safer to just stay put. And that affects all of us. It affects you guys in getting your clients in. It affects us because, you know, we don't get those same clients if you don't get them. Most smart builders understand that our clients' journey starts with realtors. And so the more we can do to support one another, the more that's going to do for both of our businesses' success. So to do that, I started a knowledge-based product, which I call Construction Flow. And I'll talk about that here today. The concept is to get our clients into a construction flow, which means that they understand what's going on step by step and they're comfortable within that. And one of the things I'd like to get feedback on with this, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, is how that can benefit the realtors in standing out. A model that I'm looking into is offering it as a subscription-based thing for realtors that they can give out as content. There's a free book attached to it. Lots of things that are going to get our clients up to speed, knowledgeable, and comfortable with moving forward with doing a build job or remodeling. I think it's important to have both of those covered. I know, Dwight, you mentioned new construction, but as you know, there's a lot shortage too. So inventory shortage, lot shortage. Well, how do we deal with that? I'm getting calls every day from people looking at homes that they either need to remodel to sell or they need to remodel if they're going to buy. So that's why I want to cover both. Even though new construction is my primary source of building, I build both spec homes and new homes. What you guys saw in the loop was a little bit of both, custom new homes for clients and spec homes. But I think remodels in this market is a really important thing for us all to understand and to get our clients comfortable with also. So on the capturing missed opportunities, which I think is where we're at, what I'm trying to overcome, I'm sure you guys have all overheard these conversations at parties too, where people are talking about construction and telling about their nightmare story where everything went wrong. And that seems to be a narrative that's far too common out there. And I think it's something that we need to kind of fix as much as possible, because I don't know if you guys are seeing that like I am, but I'm seeing that there's people who just don't even come into our worlds because of a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge, and they just don't feel like they want to expose themselves to the potential negatives. They've heard, oh my gosh, my project went 10% over budget. It was a nightmare. It took too long. So how can we fix all those things? I've tried over the years to do it a lot of different ways of how I would inform my clients. And I realized that the best way to do this was to give them a proactive tool that they could actually absorb before they went into the process. So they would have an understanding of what to expect, the sequence of everything, and then where they fit in as the client, so they'd have this higher level of comfort. So I started about 3 years ago assembling something that was supposed to just be for my clients that I wanted them to run through before they went through the construction project. But then as I shared it with people, I've shared the concept with Dwight and others, the feedback was, well, that could really benefit everybody. Everybody that's involved in the construction process is going to have a better time if our clients are comfortable and knowledgeable. So what I did was I created a series of videos starting from the very beginning. One of the most common things I get referred to by realtors who want help with their clients is how to do due diligence when they're looking at an opportunity. So buying a lot, buying a piece of property, or remodeling a house as well. So I basically started from the very beginning and did a series of 44 videos. I'm in my studio right now. Dwight, you mentioned this looked like something I built. Yes, I did. So I've got a full studio here with lights and everything else. And one of the things that I'm offering is also Zoom calls, like one-on-one with clients, in addition to the other stuff that I'm talking about, and with realtors if they would want to get them whatever they need to move forward, and to get to the next level in whatever they're doing. So that's something I'm going to offer, and this would be the setting. So I have a bunch of cameras and lights and stuff like that I bought to do the course, and I'm going to use them for Zoom calls as well. So I made some notes. I have a little promo video that I did for the course. Maybe now would be a good time, Austin, if you could play that one that has the video with it.
Yeah, sure thing.
It all starts with the vision for a new home. In time, the construction process will turn that vision into reality. The construction process is a journey, though, and sometimes it can feel like this.
Same with on the fridge.
Properly installed.
It's just dripping.
Was made and cut too short.
During the last 22 years, I've built over 140 custom homes. I know the construction process inside and out. Being the son of a builder, grew up on job sites, grew up around it, did a lot of construction labor work when I was younger, went to school, got a finance degree, and ended up coming back into the family business. And over the course of the last 22 years, learned a lot of lessons that I knew needed to be condensed into something that could help other people. I analyzed my past projects and found that the construction runs much more smoothly with homeowners who have been through this process before. So, to make a positive impact on the industry, I created Construction Flow, a program to teach owners about the construction process, where they fit in, and how to deal with making timely decisions to keep the project on track and on budget. For most people, building a home is the largest project they will undertake in their personal lives. Any resources that can improve the process will pay dividends. The Construction Flow program will take homeowners new to the construction process and proactively prepare them for a much smoother home building experience. This is the resource I wish I had for the last 22 years. The vision is realized when a builder and homeowner get into the construction flow. These are the tools to make it happen.
Very nice.
Am I back? Thank you.
Yep.
So you guys are the first to see all of this, by the way. So I'm scrambling end of last week when Dwight invited me to do this to get everything pulled together. And I actually over the weekend got it to where our landing page for this is live. and there's free giveaways that I want to offer to everybody with Keller Williams. So you guys can share that around as well. So I'll give you the website address. I think I sent that over to Melanie too, that we can pop up at some point that takes you there. It gives you the free book, the ebook that I put together. It's called the Construction Flow Playbook. And what that is for clients to understand all the players involved. So it talks about builders, architects, designers, realtors, and lenders. I think a lot of people miss the importance of lenders in the construction project, and they don't really understand what makes a better construction process for somebody. A great example I had last year was a client didn't understand that when they had custom products, they had to put a 50% deposit down. And they ended up having to put deposits down for like 5 different things for over 200 grand. And their bank didn't advance funds until it was on site and installed. So they had put stuff on credit cards. They had come up with money out of selling things that they then had to just patiently wait for all the product to get installed. So that's just an example of a tip that's buried inside of the book about how all these different aspects of the construction project can impact them. And then the course follows up on that, where I have, you saw some snapshots of it in that video, 44 modules that are each really short, like 3 minutes long, that take them through every step in the process. What I found is that my clients would always ask me, so what's next? What's the next step? What do I need to know? What do I need to care about? And they felt like they were in the backseat of the construction process the whole time because they were kind of getting spoon-sized bits of information as it went along. So I knew that they needed something they could refer back to really easily. In that video, you saw me opening a binder. Every one of the little videos, the modules, has a PDF that you can download along with it. And I printed out a binder. That's how I would take it around if I were a client to a job. And I could refer back at any point in time to where we're at in the construction process, make sure that I'm comfortable. What selections and decisions do I need to be making so I don't stop my project? You guys have probably seen this, any of you realtors who have done new construction deals. At some point in time, the client finds that the job slows down and no one quite knows why. Was it because materials weren't there on time? Did I miss a selection? Did something happen that I'm not aware of? And there's this lack of comfort. And I think that's where those cocktail party stories come from, is just a lack of understanding about the process. So I created this tool in order to give people that comfort. And I want to make sure that that is something that helps everybody. So my intention in this is that it would help realtors as an asset that they could give to their clients who are either considering building or doing a remodel or some other construction project that they would like to have a little more information to feel comfortable before they move forward. Done properly, this should help realtors close more deals. It should help builders close more deals. And then it should help everybody have a smoother process, because it is a team. That's why I really liked hearing that in the beginning, that you guys as Keller Williams work as a team. You support each other. You care for one another. I think that's phenomenal. I think the rest of the industry and construction should all be doing the same thing. We should all be looking out for one another. We should be doing this as a team, and we should be elevating our outcomes by making our clients as knowledgeable as that buyer that I've had that's built 5 homes, or real estate agent that's been around the industry, other contractors that I built for. These were all the smoothest, best transactions because the people on the other side knew what was happening. They knew the order of things. They knew the importance of things. They knew where to jump in. But if you've never done it before, it's super intimidating. And so that was my intention with this whole thing, was to give an asset that, back to the how do you stand out as a realtor. Well, if you're doing social media posts, you need content. You need things of value that you can share with your clients to bring them into your world and to let them know that what you're sending them is not just fluff. We all get a lot of fluffy content. So that's a hard thing for us to do, is put something out there that's really super valuable. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's partly why I'd like a Q&A feedback too, is to make sure that what I am putting together is truly supporting the real estate community and all of the construction team. I refer to it as a team, that supports these clients through the process.
Hey, Chad, can I interrupt for a sec?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, the first thing that comes to my mind here is that I'm having a conversation at least every 2 weeks, maybe even every week, with someone who is not finding a home that they want. They found a lot that they want me to drive by. At the end of the day, it's just more construction, new construction talk. And so what I'm thinking as I'm watching the video and your discussion about your the flow is this would be a great way for me once I have that conversation is to share that link with whoever it was that I was talking to and ask them to read through it to see if it's really something that they want to do. Have they thought about everything that's going to be in your series? And I think it might be a way to create a really deeper relationship with anyone that asks about it. And if I haven't done new construction before, I would do it myself as a realtor, obviously, before I send it out to my clients. So I could say, look, if you're going to engage in the new construction process, I have a link here that will break down the entire process for you. You can listen to it at your convenience. We can reach the person that wrote it. He's a local guy building homes in Lake Oswego right now, which is where our business center is. And it just seems like an amazing way for us to build a relationship and lock our clients in.
That's the point.
Great.
So I love that. I love that feedback. And so what I've set up right now, and I would love feedback on all of this, but what I've set up right now is when you go to the website, we unlock 3 of the videos. So 3 of the module videos, which are the property purchase and due diligence, the bidding process, and framing. And I unlock those because they're 3 big ones. And I think that would give the most value for people if I was going to unlock 3 things, and then the ebook for free as well. So if any of your clients, if you wanted to pass that along to any of your clients, they would get that free access. And then I'm doing 250, the first 250 people that sign up for the course, we're going to launch it in about a week. We're still uploading the last of the videos. They're being edited. They've all been shot, and I've done all the text and everything on the website, but then the videos will be uploaded in about a week. So for the first 250 people, I'm also going to get $400 off. And I'm promoting this primarily to real estate agents, people that are already in my, you'll get a second email, Dwight, people that are already in my email list. So I'm making that offer to all my kind of tight family before we launch it to anyone who wants to use this. So yeah, if you guys have feedback on that, and I was thinking for the realtors that I could offer the course as a subscription-based model for an affordable price so that you could literally give it to anybody that enters your world, like you just said, Dwight, the full course.
Yeah.
Anyone can go look at it for free, get those 3 free modules and get the book for free. And then they can make the decision, or as you guys as agents, if you were willing to do that too and kind of look the course over and tell me, would I be interested as an agent in doing like a subscription-based model where you could give it to all your clients basically, or potential clients? It's a way for you guys to stand out. It's a way, frankly, for me as a builder to stand out. I'm trying to leverage in a way a lot of you guys probably are. I don't have a huge company and a huge team. So using social media, added value, really high quality content is the way that I'm trying to stand out for myself. And if I can help realtors do that as well, then beautiful.
So I'm thinking of ways that I can use this in my own business. So I know there are a lot of agents that are in the office that are now starting to look at land listings, things that can be subdivided. I know that there are agents in our office whose clients are saying, I think I'd like new construction. How do you build a home? What do you have to go through to build a home? That whole process. And so if I wanted to start building a business in that area and I didn't really understand it, then watching these videos myself would be a great idea. But if I listed land and I had someone that came to me that said, boy, we would love to build a home on that lot. What's that going to involve? I could give them the link and share it and say, this is what it's going to involve.
Yep.
You're up for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so I mean, I think that's all amazing. If there are agents that are in the office and they have land that can be subdivided, can you tell me what they would do in terms of like your expertise as a builder and working with realtors that have land?
What process would the realtor want to take to get prepared?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would think the number one thing is to have that relationship with the title company that most of you guys have and have them do a builder package or some sort of a developer's package where they get all the pertinent information. So zoning, all the setbacks, the typical title company package that they would give. Speaking as a builder, that's what I want because it gives me everything that I need to know. For the average homeowner, that might be slightly technical to just hand that off to them without a bigger understanding. But that's what the first video that I unlocked, property purchase and due diligence, goes into. It's the longest video of all of them by a long shot. Almost all of them are like 3 to 5 minutes. That one's 19 minutes because I talk about the details of that. So not just what you want, but why it matters and where you can get it. So that one is meant specifically for the owners to understand, but if the realtor understood the same information, they could present it in the same way. Here's all the important informations that you need to know. Specifically in Lake Oswego as an example is unique. Portland's like this too. They've got their own code, and that's where you need to get all the information from the title company. So it'll tell you how high your building can be, how many square feet you can put on the lot, all those type of things that the clients are going to want to know to figure out, can they fit the house they want to build on this lot you've got listed?
Perfect.
Did that cover it, or you want me to go a little deeper?
No, I think it'd be great to open it up for other questions. I think you covered it.
So the ebook, what does that cover?
The ebook is called Construction Flow Playbook, and I use it as kind of a sports analogy where the owner is the owner of a team, and they get to pick the members of their team, their builder, their realtor, their architect, depending on the scenario that they're doing. And so it's an introduction to all the different people that they need to interface, that team that's going to help them get there. And so it really explains their roles, because I found a lot of people didn't understand that, what role does a realtor play? What role does a lender play? Those type of things. So it really is like the introduction.
Yeah. So that was your binder that you had there in front?
No, the binder was the full course. So every video has a full printout with it. And that was the whole course if someone printed it out versus digitally.
Okay, great.
Chad, I've been getting more and more families who are moving their aging parents in, multifamily, well, not multifamily, but multi-generational requests for what can we look for a house where we can build on, or, those kinds of things, or even from the ground up. As you know, it's with the aging population and they're wanting to keep everybody together. What kind of advice do you have for, I know kind of where to start, but what kind of advice, or have you been building some like that? And what kind of advice can you give?
Great question. And yes, that is a huge thing that's coming up. So whether the answer is like a guest house on the property or multi-generational in the same house, kind of depends on where you're at. Multi-generational in the same house tends to work better in the urban environments where there's not as much land to do a detached, guest house type thing.
Yeah.
I have that in my own house. So we bought a piece of property. Dwight's team helped me buy it. It had a house on it that we turned into a guest house for my mom-in-law. And then we built a new house.
Awesome.
So that's one way to do it is people are looking for property. A lot of times they'll have an older house on it that they can convert into a guest house. But multi-generational, the only big rub with permitting on that is kitchens. Jurisdictions don't want people to have a bunch of Airbnb rentals and just rental properties on one property. So they're going to limit what you can do with the kitchen. But there's a lot of good plans out there that have multi-generational living. It's normally like a kitchenette for the, the family member who's going to live there, a smaller version of a kitchen. But that's one thing in each jurisdiction that the agent would want to know about is what can you do, and maybe finding out what the person's trying to do. Most guest houses around here cap out at 600 square feet. So that's about as big as any of them get. So if somebody wants more space than that, multi-generational in the same house would probably be the best bet. But that
you could do like wings, right? You could do like separate wings of the house. Could be
that there's wings could be one way. Separate entrances is another easy way, where there's an entrance into the house, but also an exterior entrance. So there's that sense of independence that comes with it. I think that's an important one for us all to understand. It's huge.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your advice.
Do you only do Lake Oswego?
No, I think when I first started, we were building West Side. And then when we moved into Lake Oswego in 2005, we started with a couple of subdivisions, and we've just never left because people just kept bringing us more stuff. I do most all of my projects through real estate agents bringing me things. So I really, really value the real estate community because we don't market, we don't advertise. We're all referral based, and all our land comes from agents. And I know that if I treat the agents right, they'll bring me the next opportunity.
Sure. So what would you charge for the course?
The course, okay, so when I launch it this first year, I'm going to take $400 off of $999, so it's going to be $599 for the course. That's just if a client wants to outright buy it, but I'm also considering that subscription-based model for realtors, so maybe it's a nominal, like a $30 a month, something like that, and then the realtor could give it away to all their clients. So you could either choose to refer it, or, and I do have an affiliate marketing program, so 10% commissions get paid on anything that gets referred by a realtor, or you could do a subscription-based model and give it to as many people as you want, whatever works for the size of your business and how many people you do new construction work with.
So what is the name of your company?
Construction Flow.
That is the name of it. Okay.
That's the name of the educational platform, or construction coaching, whatever you want to call it. And then Esslinger Homes obviously is my home building company.
Okay, great.
And Austin shared the link in the chat group. It's getconstructionflow.com.
Awesome. Yeah, if you go there, you can scroll down to the bottom and you'll see that offer, which you can use for yourselves or refer to your clients or whatever you like. And that's got the 3 free modules and the free book, and would lock you into those discount spots.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
So for like a situation where you took a house and then you built an extra one on that, how long from like purchase to completion would you say it? I mean, obviously a lot of things vary, but generally like 6 months to 8 months, or 8 months to a year
For building a new home?
Yeah, well, yeah, but kind of like renovating and adding.
Well, we did them simultaneously. So
Okay.
the new home part is based on the size of the home. So 6 months is probably the low end for, a pretty straightforward home. A year would be a high end, like the ones you saw in the video that were hanging off a rocky cliff. Those can take months just chipping rock away before you can start. So I think that's probably a safe range.
Okay.
And then that's really where having a builder partner can be so helpful. When you get clients who are looking at that, you find a good relationship with the builder and lean on that person to help you get through that point. A good builder will understand the value of doing that for you guys as the ones who are going to keep bringing them more work if they do a good job for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah.
So, are there any other contractors doing what you're doing?
I looked for it because I would have just referred somebody to something like that. It would have been a lot easier. This took me like 5 years total to put it together. I could not find anything like it. And the stuff that I found was bland. It was overly too long. I think people have, they have kind of Twitter-sized attention spans when it comes to content. And so I wanted to break all the videos down into 3 minutes. And we're going to offer them both as video, audio, and PDF. So they can intake it whatever is fastest and easiest for them. Audio files you can put on your phone and just refer to it while you're driving to work if you want to get fresh on what's up in your construction project. So I only found one person who did it, and they were charging like $2,000. I thought it was way too expensive and too bland, and they just rambled on too long. And I wouldn't have wanted to watch it if I were a client. So I wanted it to be more engaging, quicker, and just impactful. I don't think it's how many minutes you spend talking, it's what you say. The less is better.
Well, I just think this is amazing. And I'm coming from when I was a land developer on the North Coast in Gerhardt for 15 years, and we had nothing like this to go by.
No, I did it for myself and my own clients originally, and then I realized that this could benefit everyone. Why would I not share it with everyone and hopefully make it better as a community? I get feedback. Like I said, this is all brand new as far as the finished product. So I'm hoping to get feedback from, anyone and everyone who checks it out as to ways we could make it more impactful for. I will specialize some of it to realtors and to builders, because I also think builders can use this. If it helps me, it would help other builders. So I'm intending to customize it for realtors and builders also.
Well, and not only that, the people that that your clients, I mean, it's very stressful,
It is.
and they just, if you can, diffuse that, which looks like, oh my God, this is amazing. You can really do that. I mean, this is really valuable.
Thank you. Well, you'll see in the book and in the course, there's 3 core things we're trying to do. We're trying to help clients stay on budget, help them stay on schedule, and help avoid miscommunications and stress. So you just nailed number 3 of the top 3 reasons that this is all put together.
Chad, this sounds like such a great program, and I'm excited to take a look. I know that it's a lot of us probably want to learn all of that information as well. We have one other question in the chat from Linda. asking about this. She's heard the state's going to be eliminating single-family zoning. Do you know anything about this and how it will impact building?
I assume this means the new law that or statute that passed that you can do duplexes and fourplexes. So what we found so far is that the cities have been really slow to implement it. And when you ask them about it, they've said what we've gotten as answers is we either don't have the funding to implement this yet, or we're meeting about it and we're trying to figure it out. I think it's going to be very interesting. I can only imagine, Dwight, in Lake Oswego, a 10,000 lot in first edition becoming a fourplex or something like that. I just don't know how that happens. It'll be interesting. I think it's really a smart thing. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I'm reading a lot that the millennial generation is the first generation who was impacted by the housing crisis in 2007, and their viewpoints on home ownership are much different than the viewpoints of the older generations as far as it being an asset versus a liability. They saw it be a liability for their family and their friends, and what that did, financially to some of those people. And so I think having the ability to segment lots into smaller chunks will allow the prices to come down, which will allow it to be more approachable to a next generation of people that otherwise may or may not come into the home buying, into our industry. So I think that is a big thing that I think it's going to be slow to answer the question. The implementation is going to be slow and maybe a little bumpy, but I think it's important, and that's why it passed.
Yeah, and I believe that in our due diligence on that, the state gave the various cities and counties 2 years to come up with their code. And that's in 2022 would be probably when we're going to see that rolled out.
Yeah.
So it creates massive opportunities for generational homes. I've talked about that a little bit. It might even be an opportunity where you come up with a design and you look for land and then you build potentially even spec generational housing, right? So
I think that's the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another question, Chad. Do you build on rural lots?
Yep, I'm doing it right now. My own house is on a rural lot, and so I have a special space in my heart for that. I've done it for myself twice.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, we will all definitely be checking out all of your resources and give you any feedback we have. Don't you want to share?
Just one last thing. If you can't remember his name, remember the conference room tables in our Lake Oswego office and our Bridgeport office, because he built all of our conference room wood tables with glass tops.
Wow. Beautiful.
Thank you. So yeah, did Austin, did the website address, you said that popped up? I don't think I gave you email addresses though. For all you agents, I'd be happy to give you my email address if you have follow-up questions.
Sure.
So chad@getconstructionflow.com or chad@esslingerhomes.com. They both come to the same place.
I do have the.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Austin?
I do have the chad@esslingerhomes.com. I could post that right here.
Okay. Yeah, they go to the same place.
You had a passion for reclaimed wood. What's happening? What are you doing in that area right now?
I'm actually branching out. So Construction Flow is going to I'm going to detail an upcoming course. I'm going to do a couple of things. One of them is to show people how they can integrate local and reclaimed materials into building and remodeling. So I'm going to showcase that as a part of Construction Flow. Construction Flow is a company that's built to have numerous courses in it. So the amount of content will only increase. And I'm going to showcase that. I'm also going to showcase what I've called the Health and Homes offering, which I'm just about to redo my website. And this is a major part of it. I've been working on this for 2 years, and then coronavirus hit. It's like, oh boy, finish this up, Chad, because it's basically all the ways that our homes can actually help increase our health without us having to do anything. It's not me saying put a gym in your house and use it. It's saying, how can we increase air quality? How can we increase our water purity and quality? How can we increase our sleep quality? And how can we do other things with our house that are going to help our health and stress? So I've got about 10 points, main points, but I did a little video on that where I focused on the first 4, and I'm going to feature that for people. I think that is also going to be a big thing. What I'm hearing from people who are locked in their houses right now is all the ways that their house could serve them better should they have to be locked in their house again in the future, or if they're going to work from home from now on. I think there's going to be a lot of changes, and I think it's important for us to be thinking about how we can speak to that as real estate agents and builders. It's fresh in everybody's minds right now. And I'm getting calls all the time asking, we're seeing trends change. We're seeing people not looking for a small house with walkability. They're actually starting to think a little bit more about how my property can support me a little bit more. Can I grow a little food in my backyard? Do I have a home office? Do I have a space to work out because I can't go to the gym anymore? And so it's an interesting dynamic. And I'm sure you guys are probably hearing a little bit about that right now too, but we're seeing lots of calls from San Francisco, New York, London. People are getting out of metropolitan areas and wanting to be in places like Portland, Bend, places. If they're going to be able to telecommute, they don't want to live in those places anymore. And so that's a huge changing dynamic too. And hard to put a finger on it yet because it's very, very fresh, but I'm seeing it once a week.
Yeah.
So those are added things that I'm gonna add benefit, hopefully in all those ways in the future. And I'm also doing a remodel course. One thing that I did give to Austin, which I'm happy to share with everyone, or we can at least flash it up, but I am gonna, I have my cost spreadsheet, and I've been giving this away to people because what I found is that most people don't understand what's involved in a home, like the line items. Oh, I was supposed to send a blank one. Forget that one. I'll send it out to there you go, syllabus. Syllabus is fine. That's all the same
Here,
things.
I'll switch it back.
So this is the syllabus to the course. There's 44 modules, and this is what they are. But basically, it's my cost sheet minus a couple of things. And what I found has been super impactful for people, whether they're looking to build or whether they're looking to remodel, is to understand what goes into a new construction house. What all things do they need to be thinking about? Or in the case of a remodel, what all things do they need to invest money in? I find that people will come to me with the remodel and say, well, I think it's going to be $100,000, and they rattle off 3 things they know they need to spend money on, which in reality, there's probably 20 things they need to spend money on, and they're uncomfortable not knowing what those things are. So I start with a list like this, and we kind of go through and we scratch it out. Say, okay, you're looking to remodel this house. Well, you don't need excavation because we're not doing an addition, and we just kind of whittle it down to the things they do need to touch. And normally we can get to kind of a close number really easily with having a list like that. And I found that it gives people a ton more comfort, kind of knowing what they're talking about when they're talking about either building new or remodeling.
Great. So many good tools. So we are all excited to check those out, and reach out to Chad if you have any specific questions. But thank you so much for offering that initial viewing to us in the modules to check it out. So
absolutely. You guys are the first one to see it all.
Yeah, that's been amazing. We're going to bring you back in a couple months to talk about the latest in housing that you're seeing in new construction, some of the ideas that people are throwing at you, the way the code's changing, because there are a lot of things that are morphing right now in the new construction industry, right?
Absolutely. I think that's really smart.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Wonderful. Thanks. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Robin and Janice, and everyone have a wonderful day.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good job, Chad.
Yes,
You're doing
thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, everyone.